Okay, Gravit Designer is going to be a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new design, and I'm going to make sure this is inches, and I want like an 8.5 by 11 or 9 by 11 is fine. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, create. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my pop culture piece. So let's do Batman here. Okay, so I'm going to click and it puts it in this bounding box, and I need to make sure that I'm on my solid pointer, and if I hold shift down I can make this bigger. So you want to fill this as much as you possibly can. Hit enter, and what I'm going to do is with this selected I'm going to lower the opacity so that I can still see it, and then I'm going to lock it. Okay, so basically what I've made is I've made a template. And now what we're going to do is, again, the pointer tool will select the entire object. The sub-select will select points on an object. Right here, you have your shape tool. And then this is what we're going to be using, is we're going to be using the pen tool. Click here. Now, the pen tool creates these paths. And if you click and just drag, every time you right or left click, you make an anchor point. Now, it's important to note that over here, I have my fill color, and my fill color is turned off. If I have a fill color, it will try to create a solid as I'm creating it, and it can be very distracting. So make sure this is turned off, and all that it's going to create is the border. Okay, and I can change those at each time because I haven't made an anchor click. So now what we're going to do is when you click in the middle of an arc, you just have to drag it a little bit. Okay, what that does is see how it takes that straight line and it arcs it a little bit. Okay, that changes the arc of the path. Click, click. If I hold shift, it's going to make an absolutely perfectly straight line. I'm going to click here and then right over here and then angle it and see how it made that curve. Click here and I can curve it just a little bit. Now let's hold shift down. Oh, too low. Click again, hold shift down. Just arc it a little bit. Come to the middle of the arc. And see, these are going to not only increase that curve, but it's going to aim where your arc is going to take place next, or it's going to where your line's going to go. And then when I get to the end line, you can see, maybe you can see, I'm going to hit Command plus, and space bar is going to be able to move this while I'm still working. See how the pen tool did a circle? Click, and it closed that whole path. And it did add a fill, so I'm going to turn this off. I don't want the fill right now. Okay, Command or Control minus to zoom in and out. I need to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to go to my sub select, and now I can move some of these points around if I need to. And if I double click it, it will give me those handles. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Okay, Command out. There is my Batman head. And if I go over to the layers, you can see this is the path I just did. So what you're going to do is you're going to create this in sections. So let's go here again. Go to my pen tool, make sure the fill's off. Click, click. This is nice because Batman's made of a lot of straight lines here. Done. And turn that off. Okay, now if I wanted to, because these are the same pieces, I could copy it, Command C, Command V, and then go to my pointer tool and move it. And now if I control click, I can, let's make sure it's selected. And flip horizontally. There we go. Now, when I build this, let's say I want to turn Batman's black. That's cool. But notice how this piece disappeared. You may have to play with where it goes in the order of things. So if I can't see something, I can select it and go arrange, bring to the front. That just made his cowl come to the front. So I'm just going to move that down. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of practice on where those pieces are. And again, let's bring this piece above. And now I want this solid color. There we go. So this is how you're going to go and make the pieces. Now, again, when you start, you click, get to the top of the arc, and just drag a little bit. So you're kind of pulling it towards where it goes. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to take some practice. It may take you a couple of times. Double click to change will end it. But if I double click it, it will end the line. But if I click it back, it will reattach itself to the line. Hopefully that made sense. Now, another trick I've seen students do is just really make a lot of anchor points on here. And that will allow you to make one a little more accurate piece, but it will allow you to make smaller curves. And sometimes that smaller curve can be really a little bit easier to work with at the first start. And I'm not talking because there. Okay, and then I can change that to black, and the stroke color, I don't want that. I want that black as well. Okay, that's how we do this in Gravit Designer.